This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of Daura Gold, Mr. Mark Sumner. Mark, we're back to $5,000 gold and looks like almost $80 silver. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Gerardo. How are you?
I am well. Listen, it's clear to me anyway that in the precious metal space, the dips are to be bought right now. And I think, the same can be said for companies that have material and multiple catalysts in 2026. Daura checks that box in spades. You've had a bit of a pullback in the stock with some free trading paper that hit the market. I always tell people that that is the best time if you're looking to top off a position to get going, especially when you combine the fact that the pullback is happening right as you're starting drilling at the Cerro Bayo gold silver project in Argentina. I want to start talking there, and then let's absolutely get into some of the other catalysts that you have cooking for the next several quarters.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we have a lot going on, and as you said, I think last time we spoke about this maybe being sort of a healthy correction, and I think that's probably true. But it's also an opportunity, right, to load up because there's a lot of really interesting things going on. As you said, we just mobilized the rig to Cerro Bayo, which is really exciting. We started drilling this week. We'll be drilling a total of 22 holes of 1,500 meters across 15 priority targets, starting with the Ingrid vein. So it's a really exciting time. We'll expect that program to take about 40 to 45 days, and we'll have some news in April. So incredibly exciting times at Cerro Bayo.
These targets that you're drilling are pretty shallow. What gives you the confidence that you don't have to drill much deeper than where you're drilling?
Yeah, well, we've done. There was a fairly extensive data set on the project when it was initially worked up by Barrick, but we've done our own IP profiling, and we've been running gradient array in parallel. And so, the drill targeting, in addition to using the geochemistry that we have at surface, the drill targeting exercise took us a couple of months. We did the geometry, and the program that Stuart designed has us drilling at fairly shallow, sort of up to 100 or so meter holes. So we're confident that is the right program to run in this first pass to test the mineralization at these high priority targets.
It sounds like, and you just said it out loud, but it sounds like the team is pretty confident about the work that went into de-risking the targets and getting it ready.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, it's been a combination of things, right? Having getting the IP program done correctly. I mean, there was some historical IP. It didn't cover all of the ground that we needed to cover, so we just needed to do a bit more of it. But yeah, I mean, the work that we've done leading up to this, has left us very confident in this first pass.
Beautiful. You have some really important work that I don't think has gotten the credit it deserves happening over at Antonella. Can you speak to that a bit? Because I think it's kind of, I think it's flown under the radar, and I don't think it deserves to.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Look, the project has a historical data set with a drill program that was run in 2011. Prior to Daura, Antonella was never in a public company, so it hasn't, sort of been recycled around and changed hands. So none of this data has ever really been looked at for 43-101. So, we've obviously done quite a bit of work on it ourselves, but since the last financing, we've been able to step up those efforts, and under Stuart Mills, supervision and guidance, we've been really going through the 2,500 meters of core that we have, and doing some infill sampling, and not in addition to that, also sort of a reinterpretation of the geological model in general. We haven't talked a lot about the sample and assay program that we're running on the core, just because, it was something that we wanted to do. There was quite a bit of core that hadn't been cut and sampled. So, what we're hoping and what we're confident in is that we're going to improve the drill, profile of this project pretty substantially. We're expecting to have these results done in the sort of next week or so. So we'll release those to the market. But our expectation is that I think it'll help sort of lift the profile of this project to sort of sit more on par with something like Bonita next door, where they've got these wide, high-grade intercepts. I mean, the criticism of San Luis, Bonita, all of these projects here in the Ancash historically has been high-grade but narrow. And that's sort of the profile of San Luis next door, is incredible grades, bonanza grades, in every sense of the word, but fairly narrow. But I think that, what the work that Highlander's done next door, and I think that the work that we're doing now is going to change that perception and that profile quite substantially.
Well, if the approach changes and the results match what you hope and expect to see, that's going to be a game changer for the region, and I got to believe it's going to provide some more opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we want to have. There are a few things that we want to do. I mean, we want to have a really strong understanding of the geology, the structural geology. It's really going to be critical in the drill targeting that we do for our maiden drill program at Antonella, which we expect to permit and get going later this year. But the opportunity to do work on existing drill core and add value to the project, it's a pretty simple value add. We call it sort of low hanging fruit. It's a relatively inexpensive exercise, but it'll add, in orders of magnitude, more confidence to the program that we run and how we approach the project in the future. So yeah, look, we're really excited about the results. As I said, we're still working through the assays with the labs, but we expect to have something prepared in the next week or so.
No, listen, looking forward to having you back. Really excited to see the results of that and just seeing what you glean from that, right? And seeing if that changes the approach moving forward as you get into, what's a very busy first half of the year, obviously, but I suspect you're going to have an even busier second half of this year.
Yeah, no question. I mean, in addition to the work that we're doing at Antonella, we continue to run our reconnaissance and surface exploration program at Taikoto. That's a really interesting project. In the pipeline, we still have the 43101 maiden resource for Yanamina, which is also very exciting. And we're running a community program there. So, I mean, we're working on, about 4 different fronts across the project portfolio. Things that we can do, between now and about mid-year, which will load up the second half of this year with a whole bunch of work, a lot of news flow, and some really exciting activities. So yeah, look, it's going to be a really busy year, and then to be frank, we can't move fast enough.
It's a lot of value potentially to be added here in the next several quarters. Mark, thank you again for your time. As always, looking forward to getting those Antonella results in next week or the week after.
No, that's great. Thanks, Gerard. I really appreciate it.
Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.